Is your how-to guide for your quarterly vision and goal setting. Alrighty, good morning and welcome back. Good morning and welcome back to the vlog. Today is Wednesday and we are going to crack on with some quarterly goal setting reviews today, because as you know, in my last couple of videos, life's been heading all of different directions and it's now the end of March. Oh my god, today is actually the 1st of April. Today's the 1st of April, which we love. So goal setting review, a quarterly audit, and I thought I'm gonna do this first thing in the morning when I'm just fresh and, you know, can sit down and put some time and attention to it. And I had a beautiful moment last night when I was doing some journaling and I was like, okay, I think I'm in the space and ready to crack on with some goal setting reviews, because you need to be in the right mindset. Like, honestly, when you're doing that stuff, you need to be in the right mindset and you can't just do it to like tick a box. So I think it's pretty cool that it's the 1st of April, because that was not intentional whatsoever. It was on my to-do list, but it has to come at the right time. I know when I started this year, I didn't do my goals until like towards the end of January, because I was just not in the mental capacity to do so. I was enjoying life and, you know, had so many things on that I just couldn't like sit down and really focus on that. So we're gonna crack on with that. I'm saying crack on because my friend Becca says crack on and she's from the UK and I don't know, I've never said that before, so I've just said it 3 times. So that's interesting. But anyway, I'm recording off my new camera, which is absolutely amazing because the video looks unreal, and also I'm looking at myself, but the camera is facing me. Like, are you kidding? This is the best thing that's ever happened. I got my camera on the weekend and I've only just kind of played around with a little bit of settings and stuff like that, but I haven't actually gone in and used it. So this is the first video, which is really, really cool. So I got the Sony ZV-1F. One of my girlfriends recommended it and it is one of the best starting cameras for me right now. So we've got our own new camera. But anyway, let's dive in and get some of these goals underway. So to give some insight into kind of what I do, I will like run you through it as I'm like doing it, but I use a Notion template that I've created for like my year. So it's all set up already for me to go in, do the quarterly goal reviews, and also like look at all my other stuff. So everything's just in one place. I used to be the girl that had everything written in a book, and do you think you ever find those? No, probably not. So this is what we're doing instead. So I'm gonna jump in, I'm gonna lock in for a moment, and then I'll explain how I'm doing it today and what I'm gonna do with it all. Alrighty, so we've just done section 1 of the reflection, which is looking back on your camera roll and having a look through your photos from January to now to see what are the standout moments. So what's a high point, a lesson, and a moment that you're proud of. So what I love about Notion, and I actually do this when sometimes I do a journal entry in Notion if I just feel like I want it to be a place that I'm definitely going to look back and revisit it to have, you know, a read over or whatever. And I pop photos in there because it showcases, you know, where I was at that moment, where I was writing it, or what kind of came up for me at that time, which I love. I love the visualization of that, and I'm usually not much of a visualization sort of girly, but I've been loving that. So this part of the reflection is really fun and makes you just look back at the camera roll that you often miss. Like, that's the moments in life that you're capturing, and we never go back and look at it. So be you're a little reminded to do so. So pretty much I go in and where's my mouse? I pop in the photos here. So these are my January photos with their lessons that I've put under there. And then I've got my February photos with my lessons under there. So this one is one that I created for February with the event that I did with my girls, if that's just going to focus. So I wrote, I'm proud of the community I have built and created. This event was such a beautiful reminder of the power in creating community. It isn't the numbers, it isn't the social media views, it is the individual women you get to work alongside and create relationships with. So that's just a little example of what you can pop in there. Then I've got my March ones as well. So for example, when I went to the movies, I wrote, you can do scary things. Spending time with yourself is not a failure, it's a representation of strength. That's a cool little activity that you can definitely go in and do. What I'll also do is pop the link to this template in the caption, because I feel like it's honestly such a powerful thing that you can go back and use at any point of the year. And I have created it so that you can use it at any point of the year. So it takes you through all of the year, which is incredible. Alrighty, so now we're going to dive into the next part, which is revisiting your goals. So looking at the beginning of the year, notice what I've achieved, what still matters, then ask which goals feel complete, which goals still feel aligned, and which goals no longer feel like they belong to me. So we're going to dive in to do that part now, and I feel like I need some water, so I'm going to go grab that. Alrighty, we just did our goals and look, we haven't achieved too much. No, we have. We've done okay. But I just changed a couple of the goals that I initially had, just based on like kind of where I'm at now. Obviously, some things have changed, so I've got to be realistic here. But what I love about the framework of this is that I do split it up into realistic and big dreamer goals, okay? Because like at the end of the day, we want to think as like big dreamer, but we don't want to get like caught up in that and place ourselves too far forward from where we currently are. And that just creates unrealistic expectations on yourself, and you know, you feel like you're getting nowhere. So you want to split it up into like realistic and big dreamer, and those things can just swap and change as you move through. As your situation changes, you can adapt it, right? Or put the thing that was realistic into the big dreamer if, you know, it's not on the cards right now. Or just remove it entirely, which is some of the things that I did for myself. So I have split it. I'll show you how I kind of split it up. So basically split it up into different sections of like health. So it's got the realistic and big dreamer here. I've got business, I've got travel, experiences, relationships, which is nothing. I don't really have much in that at the moment. Financial, personal development. So this year, my massive focus is on personal development, financial, and business. That's the goals that I have this year. My health and stuff like that, that's all pretty good at the moment. So my health and all of that are kind of pretty good at the moment. So my main focus like for this year is that personal development, my business, and financial. That's my number one goals. So what I have done within the mid-year audit I've gone in, so I've done my goals in a separate like component, but I've gone in and done initial priorities from the audit. So when you have a lot of goals or a lot of things that come up, there's, you know, so much to think about. So you don't really know what to kind of action first, and you don't need to action first. Sometimes things happen automatically on their own without you even realizing. However, it is really important to be like, okay, I'm going to have clear direction on what I'm starting first, especially if you're feeling lost. So number one is incorporating running again. So that's really bizarre, but I feel like going for a run. So I'm going to start bringing that back in, and then just changing up my training style a little bit to focus more on stability and like body strength. Then rebuild my client base slowly. Continuing monthly in-house education and actually doing like study and stuff for it for my girls. Prepare for a silent fire movement and drive sales, do a goal setting session with Ryan, and then weekly additional loan repayments for my car. So that's like my first initial things to focus on. And I think when you don't do that, you get lost in transit. So make sure you set out some of those first initial priorities. Are going to help so much in understanding what your actual next steps are. And I'm a very type A personality sort of girl. So if I don't have a clear direction, I'm going nowhere pretty much, or I feel like I'm going nowhere. All right. Then the next thing we want to look at is realigning your vision. So checking in with the bigger picture. Does your current vision board reflect the direction you want to go? Do you need to update your images, your words or emotions, everything like that? And then also, what would my future self want to see represented here? Okay, so that's like the next thing is your vision board, just making sure it does feel aligned. And if you need to update any of your photos, you can go in and do that as well. So I'll show you my vision board of what we built for this year. So vision board is in on the front page, so I just see that every time I open it. So it's got a really great mix of things this year. I've got, you know, some of our move that we're going to be doing, you know, friendships, business, maybe get a ring, I don't know. And then like all of like little mix match of things that I really kind of wanted to do over this course of the year. And then my words that kind of relate. So looking at this, yes, it feels like it still very much kind of like relates to what I want. Oh my God, I got my camera. We love. So it definitely feels like it's still aligning on that side of things. But I will go in and just see if I want to update anything specifically. However, I feel like this is quite good still. Let this be your sign to start creating the vision board that you're wanting, to start creating the life that you're wanting, to do an audit for your mid-year, because girls, it's so important. It is so important. So go in, start playing around with it. I'll drop the Notion link in the description in case you're wanting to use this template. But let this year be what you make it. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in amongst the craziness of the world, especially what's happening right now, and push forward to be the best of yourself, you know? And I know it's hard and sometimes we get lost along the way, but when we come back, we realign and set that direction, can really supercharge you. So we're feeling quite good right now. I'm gonna go in, make some breakfast, but this is your how-to guide for your quarterly vision and goal setting, and I hope you feel way more aligned after this. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.